Good afternoon, I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Media News. The headlines. RUPIAH BANDA put to rest as PF youths endorse former President EDGAR LUNGU as a father of the nation. KACHASU brewing contaminating underground water in MAZABUKA district. Join me with the details after this commercial.
The trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the
She has so much data.
Mom.
Yes, baby.
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
And now the media news in detail. Some residents of Kalea village of Mazabuka district southern province have expressed concern over the rampant brewing and consumption of the illicit beverage commonly known as KACHASU or Morin Mokia in the area. In an interview with Camnet TV, a resident of the area says those trading in the same business are fond of throwing waste products on the ground known as zimbwenda. As a result, the water in the area gets contaminated, affecting both the consumers and non-consumers of the alcoholic beverage. Meanwhile, Nachipoma Ward Area Councillor Mike Malambo has condemned the trading of KACHASU in the area, but was, however, quick to note that 3/4 of residents are earning their living through the same business.
Known to be harmful to one's health and how it negatively affects communities, the brewing and consumption of famous illicit beer, known as KACHASU, is on the rampant in Kalea village in Mazabuka district in southern province. An assessment conducted by Camnet TV revealed that the majority of residents are involved in the KACHASU business as a source of livelihood, and this also means more people are consuming KACHASU. Marjorie, one of the brewer, explains that she has been able to feed her family through this same business for the past 16 years and has managed to send her children to school.
Prophet ujana gabusu tagago onka olaga sagabusu kamalasha tagago enka olaga sagamalasha endi zamwana uchigolo bamagabugu kwa manabi ya manali mugwajala kapitu alimu de onyiga kwa mana
so mukapanga odesa nayo okeni wantu abanja mama kodani
ni bandiri bena ngubachoka mu minzi bena ngusocha bekuchoma bakurusaka babura bati wodi.
Despite many people depending on the said business for survival, some residents are concerned that KACHASU has contributed to criminal activities as people only have time to drink beer and engage in vices. Complaints have also emerged on the residues of KACHASU known as chibwenda, which is said to be contaminating underground water.
Beer drinking, in our local language we call it KACHASU. So a lot of youths here they have engaged themselves in drinking KACHASU, so as a result, we have a lot of death rates in this community. So, and we have a lot of people who are illiterate, they can't go to school, their main focus is just on drinking KACHASU. Again, when it comes to water, the same KACHASU which they are making, they are throwing some stuff which is called molasses. So if they throw that stuff, molasses, it goes down beneath the earth and it mixes with the water. So as a result, the water it becomes very much contaminated. So it's not safe for drinking.
So seboguno mapenzesu ngakwali akubula menda maboho bamwe bantu babereha menda mu mulonga muligaleya ono bamana ali mu abantu mbenya ba mu komponi muno kwerenkanya amagachaso nge bajiga so kujana menda alya ali agabo tupe mu mulonga mamola sesa abo balatira mwenya muligaleya alangira mu mulonga solo hihubwa
I also spoke to the area councillor Mike Malambo, who acknowledged that the trading in KACHASU is illegal, but was quick to say that many residents depend on the same for survival, hence making it impossible for people to stop.
On that one, I can say that it's difficult because 3/4 of the people, the population of 80,000 is doing the same. That's why they end their life. So I don't think that it can be easy for them to, or for me, or for anyone to stop them, unless to find them something to do in replacement of that. But the best way that we are trying to do with the other stakeholders is to find someone who can help us to grade the KACHASU in a way like these other people are doing in other countries like Tanzania. They call X5, they call balls.
KACHASU's alcoholic content can vary significantly depending on the strength of the brew, and research on the composition and safety of it conducted in 2001 by the University of Zambia academics found that it contained about 20 to 30% ethanol, and other studies on the beverage have found alcohol content as higher as 70%. Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
Former First Lady Thandiwe Banda has described her late husband, RUPIAH Banda, as a caring and loving husband. Mrs. Banda, who spoke through a close family relative, Alice Banda, says she is thankful to God for the opportunity she shared with Mr. Banda for the last 20 years. Meanwhile, President Hakainde Hichilema says Mr. Banda had the ability to create a calm atmosphere when there was tension in the country.
She sang beautifully in remembrance of her late father, RUPIAH Buzani Banda, at the church service held at the Cathedral of the Holy Cross in Lusaka. Dunia Banda is the late former President RUPIAH Banda's last-born daughter, who says she shared a close relation with her father and that they spent quality time singing together as her father was a lover of music.
In this video of Dad singing that you just saw, he was singing in the hospital, one of the first times that we went to Dubai after finding out about his illness. Dad and I used to sing many songs together, but our favorite was Loliwe.
I remember as a child when breakdancing was all the rage, he made me believe I was the greatest dancer on earth, and he would have me perform to every guest that came home. He truly made me feel on top of the world. We will all miss R&B singing our praises to the world.
Thandiwe Banda, who spoke through a close family friend, Alice Banda, says her husband was a loving man and that she is happy to have spent the last 20 years with him.
We traveled the world together, and your excitement at showing me new places and encouraging me to go out of my comfort zone when it came to trying different delicacies was so infectious. You generously shared your old memories with me whilst we created new ones of our own. I'll always remember fondly how you insisted I watch football matches with you. Even when you knew the outcome of the match, you were still so excited to watch the same goals scored over and over again.
And Reverend Canon Thomas, the Dean and Vicar General of the Anglican Deaconess of Lusaka, in his sermon, took time to encourage the masses that gathered at the church service to know their purpose in life and live it to the fullness of God. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verses 1 to 8 and 1 Timothy 4 verses 6 to 8.
Concludes that all events of life, all seasons of life are divinely appointed. Every season of life is to be lived to its fullness, exploiting the full potential that God has given us, but always doing so in the fear of the Lord.
Meanwhile, Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema, in paying his last tribute to the late former head of state, encouraged Zambians to remain strong and says what unites the country must override what divides the country.
In a country where sometimes some of us try to drive more issues of divisions, yet there are a lot of things that unite us. And the things that unite us must override, must glide over the few things that may divide us. Very important lesson. I think we must all learn it and live it.
Family, friends and other mourners proceeded to view the body of Mr. Banda, who has since been put to rest at the Presidential Embassy Park in Lusaka. May his soul continue to rest in eternal peace. Prudence Jota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Meanwhile, Zambia's fourth Republican President RUPIAH BANDA has been pulled to his final resting place at the presidential burial site in Lusaka. The send-off ceremony was attended by Zambia's current President Hakainde Hichilema, former President EDGAR LUNGU, senior political officials both from the ruling and former party. Others in attendance were former heads of state from African countries. This brings the close of the 7 days national mourning period, which saw 18th March being declared holiday meant to allow the public mourn their former leader. Mr. RUPIAH BANDA succumbed to cancer of the colon on the 11th of March 2022.
11th March will forever remain historic, as Mother Earth is yet again taking back a great son of the African soul, RUPIAH BANDA. Since last week Friday, the 11th of March 2022, the nation has been covered with a dark cloud. The death of Mr. Banda was received with shock and grief by people from all walks of life. Friday afternoon, the late was put to rest after a 7-day mourning, with President Hakainde Hichilema declaring the 18th March as a holiday for his burial. Mr. Banda was in office from 2008 to 2011, was buried at the Embassy Park in Lusaka, the country's capital city. Among those that attended the burial service were former foreign head of states and current family members, government officials, foreign dignitaries, among others. 21 gun salutes were done in his favor. Mr. Banda has been described by many as a selfless leader who had the heart for the people. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
In a surprising turn of events, some young people believed to be Patriotic Front sympathizers have endorsed former President EDGAR LUNGU as the father of the nation. The youths say they consulted several young people in various localities to persuade the former head of state to be a father figure, being the only surviving former president. However, others have been of the view that the opposition Patriotic Front must stop associating Mr. LUNGU in partisan affairs.
The talk about former President EDGAR LUNGU being the father of the nation has been topical during the state funeral in honor of Zambia's fourth Republican President RUPIAH BANDA. The debate started with Patriotic Front aspiring President Brian Montubile.
I feel that Edgar Chagwa Lungu, as a former president, should remain an icon and, and a repository of knowledge where we all should go and consult, including the current president. Let him embrace his brother.
Social media has not been short of diverse opinions on this subject. Some young people, believed to be Patriotic Front sympathizers, have endorsed former President EDGAR LUNGU as the father of the nation. The youth had positioned themselves at the residence of the former head of state with some placards with messages of solidarity, although the uninvited guests could not hold their procession at his residence, as they were advised against doing so by the security personnel.
Dr. EDGAR Jagwarungu to humbly accept the request of being the father of this great nation, Zambia. We therefore appeal to the head of state, His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Chidema, to work hand in hand with the former head of state, Dr. EDGAR Jagwarungu, for he is the only surviving head of state we have at the moment.
We also asked them about the criteria they used to come up with a wider endorsement from the youths across the country.
A meeting across the country went to Samba district, central province, went to Copperbelt, RUPIAH northern, western province, and the people, especially our fellow youths, they have cited like let President EDGAR Jagwarungu, the former president of the Republic of Zambia, be the father of the nation. As my brother said, that he's the only surviving nation. During the time he was in the office, we saw that he took development to all the parts of the country, and he created thousands of the jobs across the country. Therefore, is worthy to be the father of the nation.
Well, we understand that there is no application to become the father of the nation, nor does it come by endorsement, but by prerequisite of being the former head of state.
Is the father of the nation forever.
But others also advised the PF against entangling the former head of state in partisan affairs.
The PF have to let go of President Lungu, because now President Lungu becomes our national asset. He is the only surviving former president. And the more they entangle him in PF activities, the more he remains a partisan president.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. RUPIAH BANDA put to rest as PF youths endorse former President EDGAR Lungu as the father of the nation. KACHASU brewing contaminating underground water in Mazabuka district. Thank you for watching. I am Precious Mzeya Sakaleji. Good afternoon.